What is going on, everybody? My name is Ciara Lawler. Welcome back to a very special episode of Movie Mondays. I am joined, as always, by my partner in crime, Mr. Shaun Meehan. Shaun, how's it going?
What's going on, Sigma friends? Welcome to Moonfall Mondays.
That is absolutely not going to catch on, and thank God. Because
Moonfall Mondays or Sigma friends?
Oh, both.
Oh, okay, interesting.
I would just say that's a general no, just a universal no that you should take to the bank. But Shaun, this is a big week for the show, because I would say at least 12 months out, we made our listeners, our lovely people who tune in, aware of the greatness that was Moonfall, because we seen a trailer. And I thought, that looks like the worst thing I've ever seen. But my God, it captured our hearts.
By God, am I instantly in love.
But after 12 long months, maybe even longer, finally, the biggest movie of 2022 has come out, Shaun.
This is true. And you might say that's a bold claim in mid-February to say. But the biggest movie of I would say 2020s as a decade has come
the whole
out.
Decade. Like, there's nothing else other than Avatar 5, and that might take it, but other than that...
that also might come out, we're not sure.
It has to get to 3 and 4 and 2 first. But yeah, Shaun, this movie, we both seen it, and I felt like it was important that we watched it, because the Batman is obviously coming out, but compared to the Batman, like, this is Oscar worthy. I think the Batman, you've told me from the trailers, look like a piece of shit compared to this.
Thing, like, these comic book movies, you know, they're just like like they're what's it, amusement park kind of movies. You know, there's no real heart or soul. Artistry. None of this exists in any movie apart from Moonfall.
So to find the artistry, we've come to the one man who knows everything about artistry. That is Roland Emmerich.
Praise his name.
I mean, the Michael Bay of just movies. I think the two of them are the same.
I don't know who's more egregious though, Michael Bay or Roland Emmerich, because...
I have a question before we get into Moonfall, and we're just going to drop the facade here for a second. Who's a bigger hack, Michael Bay or Roland Emmerich?
I think it might be Roland Emmerich, honestly.
Because that man, movie for
he just makes
years.
the same movie, yeah. Fair enough, Michael Bay made like 18 Transformer movies, but he's also done like Pearl Harbor, which is pretty good. The Island. We ever talked about The Island on the show?
With Ewan McGregor.
Yeah. That's definitely going in the hat for the Lazarus Pit review.
But like Roland, he's got the formula down, okay? And he sticks to the formula. You've got regular people, they solve a worldwide catastrophic thing. There's a family story. There's children come of age.
Yeah, there's a really shit B-plot where the family has a problem while the world is ending.
And to be honest, this movie, what he's done is he's taken all the little bits from all of his absolute standout films that we all know and love. What he's done is he's just sprinkled them all in here one by one, copy and pasted, and thought we wouldn't notice.
That's true, but if I could sum up the entire theme of Moonfall, it's not about hope or resilience or any of this. The theme of Moonfall is technology bad.
So, for anyone who doesn't know, Shaun, if you could just give me like one sentence, what's the plot of Moonfall?
Moonfalls. There we go. No.
I know what you're thinking. If this is the first time you've heard of this, you haven't seen the trailer, why are they reviewing this movie? Well, the plot is the moon, as Shaun very eloquently has told us, just decides to fall out of the sky.
Yeah, and it's very, very not scientifically accurate. There's actually a very, very good YouTube channel for anyone who doesn't already watch it. It's called Kurzgesagt, and they break down really weird scientific, like, what if we dropped a nuclear bomb in the ocean? They just do this, and they did an episode of what if the moon fell?
And our big thing with this movie, from the very first moment we seen 1 second of footage, was just a simple question. how on any sort of Earth do we win in a fight when the moon falls?
Not to spoil anything, right? But there is a bit in this movie where the moon grazes the Rocky Mountains.
There's several moments where it sneaks up on people.
There's a beautiful scene where the moon comes over the horizon like Jaws. Like, it's ridiculous.
It properly sneaks up, and I'm like, how did the moon sneak up on you? It's the moon.
It's it's ridiculous. And the whole thing basically is also like, yeah, conspiracy theorists should have fucking listened to him, shouldn't you?
Okay, look, we're going to have to get into this movie because I feel like we normally do like 90-minute reviews. But I don't know if this deserves 90 minutes, so I'm going to try it. We're going to try and barrel through this because there's so much dumb stuff.
There's so much shit that doesn't need to be in this movie, like.
No. But look, it's important to remember this is the best movie of all time. I think everyone needs to know that. Roland is a saviour to cinema. And
this is the movie that got us in. This is why we joined film school, Connor, is to talk about this movie.
I like how Roland came out last week and was like, comic book movies are ruining cinema. Like, if Scorsese says it, you're like, look, he's Scorsese, he has a bit of money in the bank.
Yeah.
Like, Roland is saying it, I'm like, okay, Roland, chill out, man.
Wind your neck in, Roland, come on.
Yeah. So we start off, we had the intro, it's obviously a lot of the moon landing. And we hear all the radio, and then you're like, okay, this is it's the 1960s, simpler time. They didn't know what was up there, Shaun. But then we cut to 2011, and we have our hero, Patrick Wilson.
All American.
He's all American. I think he's getting better with age, though. He's absolutely built like a brick shithouse in this.
Yeah, but Patrick, this is a great movie for like Patrick Wilson's self-esteem, I would say. Like, looks amazing.
Yeah, and I feel like he's giving it a lot more than it deserves. Nobody could save this.
No one can save it. Like, this is a really good cast. But it's a shit film.
How did they get them? Donald Sutherland's in this movie for like one scene, and then they just wheel him off, and he's never seen again.
No, like, Halle Berry is in this movie.
So Halle Berry, Patrick Wilson, and unnamed third astronaut are up there, and they're all hanging out. They're all having a bit of bonding session as you do. It's get us to like the characters, and they're fixing something in space, and suddenly the moon just kind of a volcano erupts on the moon. And lots of things that look like nanobots come out of the moon. That's a bit weird, Shaun.
It's very strange. It's not what's usually pictured as being inside the moon.
And all the nanobots attack the spaceship. And unnamed astronaut dies. And I was fucking devastated by that. Unnamed astronaut, no, I said. But
he floats off into space. Patrick Wilson can't save him.
And he's devastated as well.
And then comms go dark. Cameras shut off. It's all gone. And then, and the movie wants us to believe this, Patrick Wilson pilots a space shuttle back down to Earth with no electricity.
Yeah, because he's the greatest man to ever live.
Because he fixes cars, is what he does. He knows how to get under the hood.
We've all heard the story of Sully. Tom Hanks even did a movie with him. He got a movie based off him because he landed a plane. And like
in the Hudson,
and it was heroic. This guy has gone another step. He's gone 10 times bigger. He's landed a spaceship from space,
and he landed it back on the airport runway as well.
There's a clip of that.
Yeah, there's a clip where he just fucking cool as a breeze coasts back in to Houston onto the airstrip.
Down. He's just ready to go.
Like, put him in the ocean, like, and just give us that little bit of believability.
I love the idea that like he lands perfectly and the boys are out with the lights, just like putting him into the slot.
He gets onto the ground, slows down, throws her into reverse, parallels it back into the...
Oh, he throws the hand back over the seat behind him, looking out the back window.
He's smoking the whole time.
One-handed just wheeling it. So he lands this fucking spaceship after they get attacked. And you're like, oh, this is weird, right? So he lands back down. And Halle Berry's there. She's been knocked out. He's like, I'm going to save the two of us. And so what happens then next is 18 months later we cut to. And we find out that the US government have accused him of killing the unnamed astronaut, and he is to blame for what happened. Now, in what world would a man do the greatest feat anyone has ever done ever in any sort of flying device? Land a fucking spaceship perfectly on the runway, and then they'd go, you fucking murderer, you killed the astronaut, you disgrace.
This is the thing, and they release footage of his deposition, and he's just being like, no, it was a robot alien thing attacked us and killed everyone, and he flew off. And then he goes to Halle Berry for like confirmation, being like, come on, you were there. It's like, I was asleep, I was knocked out, I didn't know what I saw.
But even then, do you not think they'd give him the benefit of the doubt due to the fact that they'd also both be dead if he wasn't the greatest man?
Well, that's true, but it's a big cover-up, Connor, because they've known about this since they went up to the moon. They've known there was something wrong with the moon.
Fucking bastards. And so, what are they not telling us, Shaun? And so, we didn't cut...
Yeah, sorry. No, I was just going to say, it just feeds conspiracy theorists, this whole movie.
Well, John Bradley comes in then.
Oh, he does.
This is a decade later, so this Patrick Wilson's disgraced. And he's kicked out of NASA for landing the spaceship with no power.
Sorry, there's a scene, where Patrick Wilson's young son at the time of the deposition is watching the deposition on like a TV or a laptop or something or a computer. And then his mother comes in and is like, are you really watching that again? Like, this kid just watches his father get torn down by NASA.
He's mad about dispositions.
He loves
it. He's constantly trying to get this listeners just reading fucking case notes. But yeah, it turned a decade later. We turned to John Bradley. He's a bit of a conspiracy nut. And he's got some fantastic lines. I think the greatest line ever uttered in cinema is, I mean, what would Elon do?
I knew it would be that one. I knew that's the line you would pick out, Connor.
And now look, I don't know where everyone stands on Elon Musk, but I feel like we might not be. Do you know what? I'm on the same boat, but that's why when this happened, I just had like a confused look of, even if you liked Elon Musk, that line's weird.
Yeah, even as a fan of Elon, like, no one says that. No one, well, maybe people do worship him to that extent, but I don't know who that joke's for, because I feel like people like us, generally, I would say, do not care for Elon Musk. And then, like, an older generation watching this movie might not know quite what that means.
Yeah.
The better joke,
called
Fuzz Aldrin.
Fuzz Aldrin is the name of the cat. And I was on board with the cat then. I was like, Fuzz, I'm with you.
And he's always pissing everywhere. Surely that'll never play into things later.
And then so we follow John Bradley. This is Samuel Charlie, but he's also called KC in this. And KC, he then goes to I think it's a talk for kids, and Patrick Wilson's meant to be doing it, but he's late. And KC finds out that the moon, Shaun, you're not going to believe this. It's not in place.
Yes. John Bradley, KC in this, is a megastructurist, which is a crowd of people who believe that the moon was constructed. And he's been breaking into a university and conversing with like this Spanish observatory to use their telescope, and he has learned through his data that the mass of the moon has changed, and so it's coming closer and closer to Earth now.
And now he's like, I need to tell people, but he can't get through to NASA.
So he decides to say it to some 10-year-olds on a school trip.
And they're all real mean, which, to be honest with you, if you came in to any school and everyone's 10 and you're like, yeah, the moon is made up. They're like, yeah, piss off.
Yeah, you're a dickhead. Come on, stop it now.
And so then he realises Brian Harper, who's Patrick Wilson's character, he's like giving this talk to the kids. So he's like, yeah, I'm going to show up. I'm going to try and talk to him because he must know NASA. He'll get the word to them. Patrick Wilson's like, lad, NASA fucking hate me after I successfully landed that spaceship that cost $7 trillion for them successfully on the runway perfectly, no power.
Worst thing I ever did, boy.
Worst. I'm a bastard. They hate me up there in NASA.
You know, I hate myself. But like, surely he'd know that he's not on good terms with NASA is the thing. Like, that was very well publicised, as his son can attest to.
Well, that's true, but he's also very strongly believes the moon is hollow. And he's just like, mate, you have to know this. And everyone's like, you're crazy. You'll never know. But then we come back to NASA, and they have data that says the moon is falling, Shaun. It's fucking falling.
What are we, some kind of Moonfall?
That's what he says.
That's what he says.
And Halle Berry's like, God damn it, I'm in. And so then his son gets arrested. I love the fact that, by the way, I'm going through the scenes. I can see on your face you only watched this movie
like the other day. Yeah.
And you've already, your brain has wiped out everything. But his son gets arrested because we have to have the family thing. Son's a bit of a rough dude.
Been arrested for speeding, he was in a car chase with the cops.
Patrick Wilson, he's in the courtroom shouting at the judge because that normally works to get your son off.
Yeah, if you just try and just chat to talk the judge down as a member of the court.
He's just sitting in one of the pews like, let him off now, judge. He's a good lad. Judge. Come on
judge,
now.
Come on now.
Come on now. And the judge's like, fair enough. He said, come on grand. Now. And so then John Bradley and him, they get word from NASA that the moon has shifted slightly. Now, they're not too worried. They're going to send up a spaceship to see what it's all about, but they're just letting the public know the moon has shifted slightly. Secretly, they think that there's 3 weeks left before the whole world is destroyed.
Yes, and can I also say that video I was talking about earlier, where they say how much damage the moon would do, that they set that over the course of a year, and by month 1, we were already fucked. So... if it's over 3 weeks, by the time that rocket takes off, there's no hope for life on Earth,
No, I mean, we came down very strongly on if the moon even moved a fucking inch, we're dead. So it's tough to stomach the idea that 3 weeks, and it goes the whole 3 weeks, Shaun. We cover. It goes to the end 2 weeks, 6 days.
No, but God, it hits the mountains. It hits the Rocky Mountains, and at that
point, there's no coming back.
No, there's no fixing this. Humanity cannot recover from this.
And not to skip ahead, but the army guy with the nuke, he's like, nah, my ex-wife will save us all. I'm like, lad, the moon is here. I don't give a fuck if she's Jesus Christ himself. She's not turning around that moon and sending it back.
But this movie has a weird get out clause because the moon is a mega structure, so it doesn't work how we think it works.
Yes. Yes.
So still bullshit.
So the Earth is starting to devolve once they find out.
Looting, riots.
Great
crack with the lads.
Great crack with the boys. Down the field, having a few. And so Patrick Wilson's like, maybe that John Bradley guy, maybe he's not so crazy after all. I better go find those papers he kind of threw at me the last time. Yeah. So he goes out and he's just in a bin looking for the papers.
And then the security guard comes along and just picks the papers up from the floor.
That's really easy. He just comes in and goes, hey, you looking for these? And boom, you looking for this?
Boom, here's all the answers. Enjoy.
Move to the next plot point. Here you go. And so they find the papers, and Patrick Wilson's like, very interesting. We're all gonna die. But he's like, let's have a chat first. And so he's trying to learn everything that, John Bradley knows. He's like,
Yeah.
What can you tell me? How do we stop this? We're only two men, but I might have an in with NASA for some reason, even though I'm a bastard.
Because what happens is the NASA send up this ship to do kind of research, see what's going on with the moon. The moon then detects the electronics on the ship and comes and kills all the astronauts.
Oh, so properly kills them as well.
Really badly kills them. Like, they're dead. And so...
like, they're really injured dead.
And so NASA are now in this weird quandary where they need someone who's able to pilot a space shuttle without any electronics being activated.
Does anyone know a bastard that could do that?
Just an absolute dog of a man who we can put up there.
Also, the NASA boss quits once the whole world starts going mad and all the flooding begins. NASA boss is like, I'm out of here. And then he's like, Halle Berry, you're the new king of NASA. You're on your own, kid.
No take-backs.
no takey-backies. And so she becomes the boss of NASA, just true to the fact that she's just there when he's like, nah, I knew this was happening, but we never told anyone. It's all a big conspiracy. Okay, I'm out of here.
Yeah, so when they went up in 1969 to the moon landing, they lost contact with Earth for 2 minutes, and that's when this weird robot monster thing made contact. So they've known the whole time and have done absolutely nothing.
Did you like, by the way, the dumbest scene, I think, well, actually.
Wow, really?
No, maybe not. But one of the dumbest scenes is the whole world is begun to be flooded by the moon. So the moon has moved. At this point, I mean, we should all be dead, logically, but we have those big, that Roland Emmerich loves, those big disaster scenes where it's a citywide shot and all the water is coming flying through the city. And it's, destruction abound. It's absolutely outrageous. And we cut to Patrick Wilson. Sorry, what's his name? Brian Harper. So yes. Brian Harper and Casey, played by John Bradley, they're obviously discussing like how we're going to stop this. And they're in a hotel. And then they decide, now it's really important to remember here, Shaun, the city is being flooded by a monsoon and tornadoes and just general tidal waves.
Yeah, the moon controls the tides and it's now closer, so the tides are bigger.
Yeah, and
like a tsunami.
It's a tsunami is happening in the city. Now, of course, everyone knows when a tsunami hits, the rhyme says you have to have a nap. So Patrick Wilson and John Bradley, they go to bed because they're going to sleep it off. And it's like,
they get a twin room.
And they're wake up tomorrow to this mess.
And they're like, and also John Bradley is in like waist deep water and screams that he can't swim.
And then he gets up from the waist deep water, goes upstairs. Time for a lovely nappy nap.
Puts on a little complimentary robe and is just like, okay, let's have a little sleep. And then who comes knocking? But NASA, Connor.
NASA are like, we need you, Brian. You are the man to save us. You're an absolute bastard, and we need you.
I loved it. I'd love if everyone in this movie just called him a bastard every time he's on screen.
Because how dare he? How dare he land that spaceship just from space with no power?
These skills will never be transferable to any situation.
Oh no! Why did we tell him that? So they bring him to NASA and they have the big moment where Halle Berry walks in and he's like, I'm not dealing with you. You're the reason why everyone thinks I'm a bastard. And Halle Berry's like, we need you, right?
Yeah, you can save the moon.
The moon is alive and we're going to send a spaceship up there to not blow it up, but what are they doing to the moon?
I don't know what they're going to set off an EMP in the middle of the moon. Because it's some kind of AI machine thing that if they turn it off, they're pretty sure it'll be fine. But also, won't the mass of the moon still be affected? And won't the mass of the moon still draw it down to Earth? And won't all the
shut up? This is like Roland's son, who is 4. It's like, but Dad, What about the moon? Would that not shut up, right? We're making the fucking movie, right?
But
they're going to blow up the moon.
If that's just a shell, da.
They're going to blow it up and they're going to put it back to where it was. That's obviously the logical next plot point we have to get to.
And yes, so then they take a shuttle from a museum, and it's got "fuck the moon" spray painted on it.
Oh, sorry. No, my favourite bit before that was the moon was obviously built by aliens. They
of course.
Just willy-nilly just throw it out there. Moon's built by aliens. You're either in or you're out, right? At this point, the plot is moving without you. But then Patrick Wilson, Brian, who is meant to be the greatest man ever, he has been fucked over by NASA, to be fair to him. But they have said, either you do this trip or the whole world is dead in 2 weeks. That is the options.
That is the offer that we have for you.
And he, for a moment, considers, and he says to Ryan, I got a lot of my own problems, you know. And I was like, Brian, you won't have any problems in 2 weeks if you don't go on the fucking spaceship.
I'll be honest, by this point, it's all worthless anyway, because the moon would definitely kill us all right now.
If you can't pay your rent, it doesn't matter at this stage, Brian, unless you save us all. The moon is going to kill everyone.
Yeah, and then he agrees as long as you get my son out of jail.
Yeah, you got to get my son out. And NASA do not have that poll by any way, but they get the son out. And you also have the bit of they give him the bomb, so they give him the EMP, and what made me burst out laughing was it's so bad. They give him the fucking bomb controls, and it's just literally like a toy, like a children's toy, because it's really big. It's like one of those big telephones you get for people who like are visually impaired, like massive telephones that I think my granny used to have back in the day.
And there's like two buttons on this,
yeah, and one just says armed and one says fire, and your man goes, do you want me to talk you through how to work it? And I was like, no, I think he'll be okay.
I'm fairly sure he could figure it out on the spot if needs be.
So then we move on to our next scene, okay? And they have to go get an engine. I just said they go find the old spaceship because there's no new spaceships because nobody has time to build any spaceships.
It's actually a fucked up thing about real life. We stopped making space shuttles. It's just not something we do anymore.
Well, I mean, how are we to know the moon would fall? I love the idea that he landed the fucking spaceship and they're like, no, he's ruined fucking spaceships now, right? He's after
no one else gets one of these because of him.
The bastard. How dare he do the greatest feat in human history.
You're the most impressive thing any astronaut's ever done.
And so then they're building the spaceship and they're halfway through building it, and they realise, fuck, we don't have an engine. We don't have a second engine. We only have one, and it's not enough, Shaun.
What happens is there's an earthquake because the moon is falling.
Is it? Go on.
It is, and that damages one of the engines. So they only have one engine left to take off with, and so they just call it quits right then and there. They announce, let's go home.
Not even a hesitation. Not even a moment of what can we do. It's like Halle Berry stops. She looks around. And she's just like, anyone around here have a spare engine on them for a spaceship? And everyone's like, no. And she's like, fuck, we all go home.
Just go around like, sorry guys, we're just doing a bit of a ring around the office here. Anyone?
Doors.
We're trying to launch. Look, it's a small thing. We're trying to launch a space shuttle in need of an engine. Would you have one? No bother at all. No hassle at all.
Are you busy on a phone call? No hassle at all. Why? Tell your loved ones you love them because the world's ended. That's no hassle at all. I'll come back in an hour.
I'll come back. Keep a listen. I'll make an announcement. Yeah, go home, lads. It's fucked. Yeah, we're all dead. All your loved ones are dead, and you failed.
But then they find out, Shaun, because KC, he does a bit of research, and he's like, but wait, if the moon is directly above us, then through sheer force of scientific energy and just general scientific terms, if we get far enough into the atmosphere, the moon's gravitational pull will bring us the rest of the way.
That's ridiculous, though. It's also something that the video that I watched in preparation disputed, because even if the moon was, like, 5/6 closer than it is right now, Earth's gravity still outweighs that. So it's not going to affect things.
Would you ever shut up?
I don't mean to bring
seconds.
Science into this, Roland. Yeah. I'm sorry. But you
Roland
hired
has
me.
tried his hardest here.
You hired me
make this work.
On exposure to just talk you through the science of things.
He had like a science guy on the set. And like he lasted a day and he's like, leave. Don't ever come back.
Do you know how Michael Bay always has someone on set that he just fires on the first day? Yeah. Roland has that, but it's the science guy, so everyone knows what terms they're on.
So they're like,
this is Professor Brian Cox. He's going to be helping us with the rest of the shoot. Fuck off, Brian.
Do we have the dungeon ready? Throw him in there.
They torture him on set. Where's your science now?
Pythagoras theorem your way out of this. Give him his fucking toenails. Oh man. So look, they have a spaceship with one engine. They have a moon with gravitational pull. They've got dreams, Shaun. They've got big dreams.
And they've got 5 people left on the entire NASA airbase.
They sent everybody home except for Charlie Plummer and Kelly Yu, who plays the son, and the nanny. Yes,
the exchange student lady.
Can I
who
just
lives
say,
with
by
Halle
the way,
Berry.
Kelly Yu's performance in this movie, I'm sure she's a lovely woman. But this is one of the worst performances I've ever seen.
By God.
In the movie.
Harsh words from a harsh man.
There's a fucking moon falling, and every time she reacts to something, it's, oh no, the moon.
Maybe she's in shock.
There's a scene right after this where the small child, Halle Berry's child, is like, the gravitational pull drags him into the fucking air, so he's horizontal, like being sucked into the moon, right? And there's a head, they cut to her close-up, and her close-up reaction is like she's dropped maybe a can of soup, and she's just like, it's grand, like it won't be that bad, I'll just pick it back up. Because she's like, no, come back.
Come back, no, don't fly away. Stop that now. Stop being depressed.
I was like, surely there was a better take. Oh, Kelly.
Maybe she was very busy and she only had time for one moon falling.
No, here's the thing. Do you know what I think happened? Is because there's so much green screen in this movie and it all looks so shit. They were clearly just on a set with like green screen everywhere. They were just like, and now he's flying away. The child you're minding is flying, and she couldn't visualise it. Because how can you act that?
That's true. Yeah, maybe. And if she's not, like, I don't know how much stuff she's been in, but if this is her first major green screen nightmare of a movie, yeah, it might be tough to kind of work around that.
So they've only got 5 people left on the whole working site. They said, as I said, Charlie Plummer, who's Brian's son. I keep forgetting his fucking name. Brian's son. And he's like, right, you take Halle Berry's kid and you take the nanny Kelly Yu and you get out of here, right? Get to safety.
Get to the military bunker that the kid's father is in.
But it's like 100 miles away and the fucking moon has fallen. So, I mean, you don't have much hope, but we're going to send you in the car anyway for the crack.
Just drive. Be grand.
Just drive. Straight.
Here's a gun.
And so then that leaves 3 of them. And they've only got Halle Berry, Patrick Wilson, John Bradley. And they're like... And
they have the 2 lads in the control room as well. Who just hang back and die.
Yeah, they... look, did you like their little gravitational jumps to the spaceship?
Yeah, I do.
Such a small scene, but they're like jumping like there's no gravity because of course really the moon is falling.
But then the gravity never affects anyone's movement really for the rest of the... It's
just that one scene. I just think they just had the gravity... They had gravity boots for one day and they're like, who do we give it to? We'll give it to the 2 lads. They've had a tough hour's shoot.
Let them hop around for a bit.
So Halle Berry and Patrick Wilson are like, right, fuck it. We're going to launch our own spaceship ourselves in the ship, and we're also going to get you, John Bradley, to join us. And then he says, I have IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. And everyone had a laugh. Oh, I literally couldn't see the whole scene. I was crying laughing.
True tears in my eyes. I sympathise with John Bradley.
Then he says, I have anxiety, I have all this. And then eventually they're like, do you want to go to space? And he's like, yeah, cool. And
he just gets over all of that immediately.
Then they're in the spaceship, and I really cannot stress enough how little an astronaut would probably have to do on the initial launch. Because do you ever see any movie or any TV show about launching a spaceship? Who are the people that launched a spaceship?
Oh, I would say the lads in control of the mission. Perhaps mission control?
In like a room with computers.
Yeah. With 80 of them, all working on launching this spaceship.
It cuts back to the three of them. Remember, nobody else in the whole fucking, like, within 100 miles of them.
Yeah. A tidal wave coming as well, by the way.
Oh yeah, sorry, the tidal wave is coming. So they're like, we need to get out of here quickly. And so they look to Patrick Wilson, world's worst but also greatest driver. And
Brian Harper. And he looks at him and he says, right, so he sticks it into drive, sticks it into first, then he gets the clutch, he's balancing it right, and then he takes down the handbrake and he sets off. Because they're doing the call like T-10, 9, and he goes, screw it, and just punches the engine.
Yeah, he punches the engine. Of course, that's how spaceships work.
Like, two things, like, he might as well have just, like, pulled down a sun visor and the keys fell into his lap. Or... like, he just, like, goes under the dash and starts hot wiring the rocket. Like, that's the same level of bullshit that scene is.
In my head, there is a clutch and an accelerator underneath him.
He's finding the bite.
And he cuts out. The tidal wave is coming. Oh, fuck. He has to turn off the fucking spaceship, turn it back on again.
Turn on the hazard lights. There we go. Safe driving, just lads.
Warn the lads behind us.
He's turn signalling out the window.
He's doing the arm out, rotating in circles. Go around. So tidal wave is coming. Now this tidal wave is the size of the biggest skyscraper you've ever seen. But luckily, Patrick Wilson, he's decided, as I said, he sets a rocket ship into drive, sets off. Doesn't need anyone else, just needs the three of them. And so they get hit by the water in midair, and they get basically overwhelmed by the tidal wave. But of course, he is very good. He put on new tyres before they started, and so like he's got water resistant tyres now. So the water eventually falls away and the spaceship continues into space.
Yeah, and then for a second you think they're not going to make it because they don't have enough fuel, but then the moon's gravity helps them again, Connor, and drags them towards the moon.
Kicks them towards the moon. And so they get sent to the moon, and while this is happening, Charlie Plummer was with the kid. This is his son, and he's driving along, and they get mugged by a bunch of hillbillies, I would say. Just the most cliche people you've ever seen it anyway, because one of them even says, "What are you doing, college boy?" And then he hits him in the stomach. That was pretty good.
Classic Roland Emmerich line right there.
And then they take the little boy's backpack for no reason.
Well, that backpack has the radio in it to get them into the bunker that the dad is in.
But the lads don't know that, though.
No, they just take this kid's backpack for no reason.
And they also take the car, even though they have their own car. Just seems entirely pointless. And then you have the son. He goes back to Michael Pena, who's his stepdad, and they suddenly just find his own house. Just there.
Yeah, and like they speed run like the reconciliation with the stepdad being like, I don't hate you, you're a nice guy, and I just want to be there for you, and all this kind of shit. Now, but also, that's not their house. That's not their house. They went to Aspen to higher ground to escape the floods that would have been in California. But that's not their house. He doesn't know where that is.
But can I just... Can I just say also, if you think we're jumping around, this is literally what the movie does.
We have not missed a beat.
Spaceship,
friends.
where 3 people are going to the fucking moon because it's falling to Earth, and then we cut back, and it's just a lad going into his holiday home.
Yeah, his little shack in the woods that he shares with his parents, like.
And they're all like, "Jeez, isn't it terrible? That moon is falling." But I'm like, go back to the lads trying to stop the moon falling.
That's the more interesting story. Like, and so then it goes back to the spaceship, and they're using like 18th century navigational devices to get around space at this point. And John Bradley says as much, being like, "Isn't this amazing? Who needs technology? Because all of the power's out." And then Brian is hot wiring the shuttle to fire it off in different directions.
Yeah, he's a fucking genius. And so he's hot wired, and then he also has a Game Boy Color. He's like, I only have a certain amount of battery though, because like it's not plugged in. I don't want to fucking waste it. But then
that's a very good point that you've raised, Connor. Is that John Bradley? The torches. John Bradley has brought his phone on board and is taking pictures the whole time.
To show to who, John? Who are you showing them to?
Everyone's dead, surely.
Everyone you know and love is dead.
All
presumably.
Of your friends and family. Yeah, like the odds are they're dead. Like, some people will survive, but they will be rich and famous.
It's not even like Thanos levels of odds. Like, you get half people survive. This is like, the moon's fall, everybody's dead. There's nobody left.
Unless you have a bunker, like, miles underground, and then you die in the bunker 20 years later. That's all is going to happen, John Bradley. Get your shit together.
And so the nanobot monster comes from the moon. That's the sentence I just said.
Yeah, it did.
The nanobots start attacking because it senses John Bradley's phone. And starts attacking, and you know, Patrick Wilson saves everyone by like lasering his way, EMPing his way in through the nanobots, and they drop into the big hole that the nanobots came from. And it turns out the moon is fucking hollow, Shaun.
It's hollow. If only a megastructurist had called this years before.
Built by aliens, has fields, has its own life force, has its own world inside it.
But the lore of this is fucked, because the conceit of this movie is that the moon was built by like the progenitors to humanity, like this ancient race of humans who were super technologically advanced, so advanced that they made AI, and then the AI turned on them and decided to kill everyone. But the moon is like an ark, and it contains the genetic code of all humanity, so that humanity will always survive. But it's also a farm, so you can grow crops and food. But it's also a weird cyber maze thing that they have to get around.
Can I just say though, like, you know the end of Interstellar when he goes like 5D, right? And like you have like Interstellar. I mean, Christopher Nolan. It's probably more of a deeper film. Obviously, like, it's got a bit of Christopher Nolan. He's going to pretend it's way more serious than it is. But I will say that it probably earns that ending a little bit more because it's a bit batshit. This movie is absolutely does not deserve the big reveal that it gets.
No. And like it's a weird, like it's trying to be like Interstellar and also a bit like 2001 A Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
Like these space films that, as you say, really earned the batshit ending. But this just decides, I'm just going to have it anyway.
Like, it wants to do Independence Day and the day 2012 and all that stuff, but it also wants to do Interstellar.
Yeah, you can't have both, Roland. You cannot have both.
You either have the team go up there and they destroy, or they put the moon off course and save everyone at the last minute, or you have the aliens in from the start.
Do you know what this ending is? It's Armageddon.
Oh, absolutely, it's Armageddon. Yeah, you send
exactly
the team.
The same as Armageddon. Yeah, you send the team up, and then someone's got to stay behind, Connor. Also, Brian Harper just has a conversation with, like, the progenitors of humanity, just has a chat with him while he's in there.
They've harnessed. I've written some lines down.
Oh,
they
good.
harnessed the building blocks of the universe.
Of course they did.
Yeah.
What does that mean, Connor? Can you explain that to me as if I don't know anything?
Think of somebody who's drank a lot of whiskey and then sat down to write a weird like, you know those scripts that they give to computers to be like, I've given them 100 hours of alien movies, now write a deep script.
Yeah.
This is that.
I think you're right, yeah. Because also the building blocks of the universe, those are just elements, which are, like, that's what we have access to.
I will say, the other one good joke in the fucking movie, right, is Brian. So Halle Berry, they lose Brian in the moon. That's a sentence I've said. Okay, Brian disappears. Halle Berry and John Bradley are there, right? And they like wake up, and Halle Berry's like shouts Brian, and then she shouts Brian again, and there's no response. And then John Bradley's character shouts Brian Harper. And then she turns around and says, yeah, like there's another Brian in the movie. That was the one time I was like, this movie doesn't deserve any like, but my God, that's kind of funny. Fair enough.
But surely, I'd imagine, I'd wager that was improvised by the two actors.
Yeah, absolutely. But also, by the way, all of this is happening. We have found out there's aliens. We have found out the moon is like a mega structure. We have found out that since the dawn of time, there's been, I just said, arcs. They've been around for centuries. Technology has been built.
Huge
up
reveals.
There. We didn't even know. We cut back to the Earth, and there's a Lexus car chase.
What's happening in Aspen is what I cried out at the screen.
Oh man. And we have possibly the stupidest car chase. It's right up there with League of Extraordinary Gentlemen in terms of car chases.
Even that's campy and dumb. But this is just like, it's the same lads from earlier that they're car chasing, right?
For some reason they've turned back up, and they're like, we really want that car or whatever those gas canisters you have.
It's oxygen, because
they want that oxygen. But I feel
because the ozone layer is being pulled away. The atmosphere is being ripped away from the Earth. And the air is thin now.
And Mike Avina is out there with his kid, and he's just like, go on without me. And he gives her the oxygen mask. And literally, the next scene, the kid turns up to her mother, and then the mother takes off her mask and is like, oh, the oxygen's back.
Yeah, they just needed to kill off the stepdad is the issue here.
They kill him, and in 60 seconds later he dies from like, I can't breathe, there's no oxygen, the ozone layer. And then the mother's like, oh jeez, the oxygen's after coming back now.
God,
no,
it's fine. Like that scene in Prometheus where they just take off their helmets on the alien world and it's like, oh, we can breathe, great.
This is Prometheus as well. This is Interstellar mixed with Independence Day mixed with Prometheus.
And, like, on paper, that sounds class.
But like, it's also trying to be all three at once. And is then it's like a really bad version of each one individually, which together makes it the worst thing.
Yeah, it's all the worst parts from all of those movies.
So yeah, also the car chase has some of the worst green screen you will ever see in your whole fucking life.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I was losing interest at that bit. Yeah, I was a bit checked out. Because I had just found out that God existed, Connor.
God existed and aliens exist, and it's all in a hollow moon, and they're like, care about this car chase in a world that's about to die.
Yeah, here's all these people who by all accounts don't matter. Let's focus on them for 15 odd minutes. And
the moon keeps sneaking up on them somehow. It just keeps coming up above the horizon. You're just, fucking hell, where'd that moon come from?
This is the scene where it hits the Rocky Mountains, by the way. Yeah. Like right near also, our protagonists.
Shaun, we've talked about this before. What is the budget for this movie?
Isn't it like 140 million?
It's $146 million.
$146 million. Yeah.
What has it made? You're not allowed to look it up. But
last count,
as of today.
Okay, at last I heard it was $700,000.
That was opening night, so it's been out for I think like 2 weeks now.
8 million, I want to say.
It's made $21 million.
Okay, so a seventh of the total budget has been made after 2 weeks.
You spend $146 million on a movie that looks like fucking dog shit.
Yeah.
And you make
but not just that.
Back.
You got to double it, Connor, because you got to do marketing and things like that as well. So
yeah, so easy 300 mil.
300 mil, a cool 300 mil.
Yeah.
And you're making some of that back.
Like, you've only lost 280 at that stage.
And all your self-respect as a filmmaker.
Oh, Roland lost that. Roland lost that many years ago. What studio is giving Roland $150 million? It doesn't make any fucking sense.
No, I don't. Like, yeah, unless he just must be unreal at elevator pitches. At just like selling things to people and just shaking
He
hands.
has photos of somebody. I don't know who, but he's got photos of somebody, if we're honest with ourselves. Because this man is getting $150 million to produce shit. Just pure shit.
Do you think, or maybe he's like, it's his company and they just get so much residuals from Independence Day.
But how do they even get Halle Berry, Patrick Wilson, Michael Pena, Donald Sutherland in this movie?
And John Bradley as well.
And John Bradley as well. Like, how do you get those people with a script like this?
I don't know. It must be a tax write-off or something.
He's got photos of all of them. That's my only suggestion.
He's got dirt on every actor he ever works with.
Every single one. So then what happens is you come back to the moon. Obviously you come back to the moon, and they all reconvene together. And my favourite bit was the moon's like, the nanotech is against us. So the moon is also fighting the nanotech monster that has been killing everyone.
Yeah, the moon is on side, but the monster isn't.
Yeah, they don't work together. You think they're together, but they're not. It's a hostage. It is a hostage situation going on here. It's a bit of Stockholm syndrome. And what happens is that Patrick Wilson leaves the room where he finds out God exists, and there's all sorts of building blocks of the universe going on. And
he's just back to being regular Patrick Wilson
he's
by
fine.
the end of it.
He's grand. Like, he's not
head isn't melted, none of this stuff.
Yeah, and he then looks around, and the ship that had crashed, the moon has fixed it.
Isn't that nice of the moon? Just leaving the fully fixed ship there ready for them to go up. Can the moon not arrange to just like hold the EMP in space for a bit and then set it off?
Well, the moon seems to be a bit of... It needs to move the plot along, but it also needs to give the humans something to do. So it'll fix the ship, it'll give them a brand new EMP bomb that's perfect for what they need, but it's not going to fucking fly it themselves. Like, you can't be fucking lazy.
Alright, but okay. Well, look, we'll fly it up. Can you give us 2 ships maybe? And we'll tow one, cut the tether, and then leave it back to the moon. Look, okay. Is there any way that we can all leave this alive?
No.
Oh, okay.
And then you also have John Bradley, and he says, "Let's go, you son of a bitch," to the nanotech monster. That's pretty good.
Yeah, he decides to fight the nanotech monster, and he's all ready to sacrifice himself. He's like, "I'm going to go back there. I'm the only one who knows how to work this bomb."
That we just found because the moon made it for us. How do you know how to work it? Nobody knows. But also, while this is happening, the army want to nuke the moon, which is one of the stupidest plot points ever put in any film, right? So the moon is falling to Earth, and the army's plan is to nuke the moon, which they say, there might be some fallout from, the nuclear explosion. I would say you would just make it a lot worse.
Yeah. Like, what you're doing there is you're just going to create lots of little moons that are going to fall to. It's too close at this point. Like, it's gone beyond hope. I think they just wanted to fire the nukes.
No, they wanted to fire the nukes, but also they're trying to do the Doctor Strange cutting the bus in half, so it goes around the Earth either side. If we nuke it directly in the middle, it'll move around us.
But But it's very big, though. It's a very big moon.
It's almost too big as a moon.
It's ridiculous. Also, I've been doing a bit of research on one of the production companies involved with this, because there's a few. Just to name some of their highlights, Connor, you got Men in Black International, you got Venom, you got Terminator Dark Fate,
Jesus.
Venom Let There Be Carnage, Moonfall, and of course, coming up in 2022, a Top Gun Maverick.
I'm seeing a trend. Do you ever see that TV show? There's a channel here in Ireland anyway. It's called Movies for Men. These are all movies that would appear on that channel. Yeah,
and they'd probably get them in really, really cheap as well. Also, Warcraft. They also did Warcraft.
Oh, lads, what are you? Yeah, they haven't had a hit yet, but they're working on it.
They're getting there.
So, also, when Casey decides he's going to sacrifice himself, Brian's like, no, let me do it. And he's like, no, Brian, the world has you now, and you know everything about the moon. You need to carry those moon secrets home, and you need to pass them around to everyone else, and I'll sacrifice myself and save everyone.
And you're a bastard.
You're a bastard for landing that fucking spaceship all those years.
How dare you, piece of shit.
I hate the movie Sully as well. But not as much as I hate you. Also, the bit where Charlie Plummer, the son, he gets crushed under a tree trunk. And one of my favourite, but only because it's one of the worst things I've seen in cinema in quite a while, is Kelly Yu's character.
Yeah.
She comes along, she sees poor old Charlie stuck under this fucking tree trunk, and the tree trunk is gigantic. It's absolutely massive.
Yeah. But he's definitely dead anyway, because the moon is falling on him.
At this point, the tree is the least of his worries, but he's still complaining that the tree is on him. And I'm like, look, Charlie, the moon is coming. Like, it's game over regardless. But he's like, okay, well, save me. And Kelly's like, lad, there's a fucking tree the size of a skyscraper on you, lad. I can't get this off. And he says, yeah, but try harder. And showing one of the greatest feats of strength I've ever seen, she just, with two hands, picks up this fucking tree like above her head.
But before she does that, Connor, and here's it's explained, is that she says, come on, the moon is going to help us now. And she uses the low gravity from the moon to lift the tree. See,
it was the delivery of the previous line that maybe I didn't quite grasp the gravitas of the situation that she was in.
Well, it was. Would you prefer if it was love? Was the reason, Connor? Would that be?
You know what? It had the same effect, I think, if it had been love. But the moon will help us now. I remembered her line earlier on when she's holding little Jimmy's hand. And little Jimmy, she's holding his hand, but he's like a kite at this stage. He's being dragged into the sky, and she says, "Hold on, Jimmy."
As if her umbrella had been turned inside out by the wind.
I'm like, that little kid is dead. Be more aggressive in your wanting to save the child, I would say.
Yeah, but look, it's all the one, Connor. But the problem is now they have to land a space shuttle with no electronics on board.
Yeah. Oh fuck! Is there anyone on Earth currently that could do it?
There's a couple, but they're not bastards is the only issue.
Okay. Do we have one man who knows everything about the moon now, has found out that God exists and that the moon has been around forever and is hollow?
Connor, I have a man to just your specifications, actually.
Oh fuck. And he has to land.
What? He's on the spaceship right now.
That is a piece of luck.
It's very lucky. It's Brian, whatever his last name is. That's
Harper.
the man.
Harper. No. Is it Harper? Hang on.
It's
Brian.
Carver?
Yeah, it is Harper.
Harper. Okay.
It doesn't matter.
The most forgettable man in cinema, this character.
Everyone in this movie is the most bland version of themselves. Halle Berry's an excellent actress. She's real bad in this. Like vanilla.
Yeah, but maybe she knew, and she was just like, "Oh, okay, it's another Catwoman I found myself in."
So the moon, or they land in New York, Shaun. That's right, they land in New York.
Yeah, they land on New York because it's under a fucking sheet of ice now.
Well, yeah, but everyone's fine. Yeah,
they're like eye level with the top of the Chrysler building. Everyone's fine.
It's sideways. See, now you're not going to trick me, right?
Oh, sorry, the fact that it's sideways, that makes everything okay.
Everybody is out and about high-fiving because they've stopped the moon. Now, if you're sitting at home going, how did they save everyone? If the moon is already at Earth and they set off a bomb inside the moon, logically the next question is, well, what the fuck does that do? Like, how does that help any situation?
But it's even, like, because I think the bomb didn't do anything. It wasn't meant to do anything to the moon. It just killed the rogue AI.
Yeah.
And then I think the idea is that the moon, the sentient beings inside the moon, piloted the moon back to where it was, which I would argue would do even more damage on top of what's already been done.
Because all the water now is going the other way.
Yeah. It's just like, say you get a bullet in you. And it heals over and it's just in your body now. And I forcibly pull that out with a magnet. It's going to do about as much damage as it did going in.
But they saved everyone. Everyone's high-fiving, Shaun. I don't know if you're quite grasping this. The moon was sound about it. Like, he drove away, grand, he parked it back up in the right spot. Not an inch to the left, not an inch to the right.
But then Brian's family turns up later on. And
everyone's fine.
Everyone's fine. They all get there in record time. And he's like, what happened to Michael Pena? And the wife just, like, shrugs.
She's like, I don't know, man. He's fucking dead. Couldn't fucking breathe. We were all going around going, shit, there's loads of oxygen. He's fucking dying, so he was.
It's like, you can share him. Like, just take a couple of huffs each, you know?
Yeah,
share
you don't have to give the child the whole thing. Just, like, you do one or two sniffs, she does one or two, and you just do that until you get back.
Yeah, because it's a minute away, and in a minute the oxygen will be fine.
But yeah, I love the fact the wife is like, yeah, my husband of 25 years, I don't know, I'm fucking dead or whatever, I don't know, but you're
dead,
savage. Now I'm on your side because you landed that ship with no electricity. And he's like, I did that the first time, yeah, but...
And he's like, you bastard.
You bastard. Also, his reaction, poor old Patrick Wilson, she shrugs and he just goes, sorry about that. Anyway.
Sorry. Anyway, I just fucking killed the moon. God, I know all...
Did anyone see me fight aliens in the moon?
I'm God now, I think. Like, he goes fully mental with it.
And then we cut back to John Bradley. And you're thinking... This lad's dead. He did deal with him as sacrifice. Turns out John Bradley, he's now part of the psyche of the moon.
Yeah, he's like he's joined their like singularity, like hive mind type thing.
Yeah,
and he sees the moon as his mother.
The moon is his mother, and the movie ends with a proper like.
Like a cliffhanger, a
cliffhanger, because the moon then says, "Oh, but we've only just started," and he's like, "What are we starting?"
What? Dun credits.
Dun credits, and then we have to think what's going to happen in the fucking. I can only assume the greatest sequel of all time that will get 300 million in budget.
Moonfall.
Someone had a great piece of the moon, or the sun is falling, and they're just like, what are we going to do? And then the door opens behind them and they turn around and the moon walks in. And they're like, God damn it, you're in.
Welcome to La Familia.
You were our villain the last one, now you're part of La Familia.
Then we'll do a spin-off called Sun and Moon. And yeah, and here's the thing, one of them really neat and tidy. The other one, really messy, Connor.
A fucking grouch. Shaun, what are your thoughts on Moonfall?
This is like, it's just such a nothing movie. Mm-hmm. Like, I was watching it and I was like, there are so many better things I could be doing with my time.
Yeah, but you know what? I feel like Wild Mountain Time's still the worst movie I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
I think we're more emotionally connected. This one I knew was going to be bad. and I expected it because it's Roland, and the man's stealing a living for a good few years now. His last feature film, by the way, I think was Independence Day. Well, his last disaster movie was Independence Day 2. So,
right, that's a film my father and I both agreed to turn off after 25 minutes.
So that's what he's coming off of in terms of the disaster movie. And he's gone straight into this.
So I did finish this one, so maybe Roland is growing on me.
Do you think Roland is only getting better or worse?
I don't think he's getting better. I feel he's about the same. It's just now we have different bars of quality to measure it against, you know?
Nobody likes disaster movies anymore.
No, these are not people's favourite things. And that's fine.
Yeah.
But I just feel like the 90s was like the perfect time for disaster movies, I think. Because CGI was just good enough that you could kind of do it.
And this CGI is really bad in this one.
It is. It's not great.
Where did all that money go is my question. How do you spend $150 million and the movie looks like shit?
I really don't know. Like, I cannot account for where that budget went, because a lot of the stuff is just like for the most part, when it's NASA, it's just like, oh, it's just in an office. Like, that's, or it's in someone's house, or it's on a road. Like, I get there's space stuff, and that needs green screen and visual effects and work, but it probably could have done with a bit more, to be honest.
Like, I always go back to Deadpool costing like $50 million.
Yeah.
Like, and Deadpool 1, I mean, cost $50 million. And this cost $150 million. And like, how is that possible?
Yeah, it's 3 times the price and like an eighth as good of a movie.
It doesn't make any sense. So, Shaun, we have to come to a review. How many Weetabix are you giving it? What kind of Weetabix? And our Weetabix rating system that we always do.
Oh, do you know what I'm gonna go with? Shredded wheat, and it's gonna be dry. It's gonna be dry shredded wheat is all I'm eating today. What about you, Connor?
I'm trying to think of a cereal from the 90s that nobody wants anymore.
I would say most cereals. They're
most cereals. Yeah, it's a bowl of Cocoa Pops, but the box is from the 90s. Like,
oh wow, okay.
And it was already opened. It's not unopened.
Oh, so that's some stale puffed rice you're eating
and you're
there.
like, I'm sure people would have liked this in 95, but now it just does not taste very nice.
Wow, that's quite a good take, Connor.
Thank you. So, I mean, I think that's it for this week's Movie Monday, Shaun.
I think so. Would you like me to take us out?
Yes, please.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to this special episode of Moonfall Mondays. We will be back on Wednesday with Weird News Wednesday and Friday with Hero or Zero. Big shout-outs go to everyone over on the Patreon who supports us. Shout-outs to Waffles Professional Ball Kicker and Golden Cube Enthusiast. Get boosted, wear a mask, please just be nice. Love you. Thank you very much, Waffles. Lovely sentiments there. Ciara Lawler, David Clarke, Ed Ball, Joe Burney, Róisín the Wife Palmer, Ryan Right Time Evanson, Shaun Groyer Mo for a Bro Jamieson, Dominic, Jessiah Florida Gal Green, Lil Dicky. As civilization started to rebuild, the tales were viewed as historical fact. McGrew. I actually think that the story that Richard's been saying these past few weeks, it's how we would cope in a Moonfall scenario.
So absolutely.
Quite apt that we end up on top. Thanks to Danny McLaughlin, Ray, I can't believe Wanda did this, Sammy DeLucia, and Michelle seriously cannot keep up with changing our name, Brown. Thank you all for the continued support. Thank you for letting us do things like review a terrible, terrible movie just because we thought it would be funny. We do a lot of movie reviews over on the Patreon. If you do want to check it out, link in the description, or patreon.com/Heroes for Hire podcast. As Connor mentioned, we reviewed Wild Mountain Thyme, the most offensive Irish movie not made by Irish people. So head on over there if you want to check that out. Other ways to support the show, there's a merch store below. You can follow the Facebook, it's Detective Divilment's discussion group. Instagram is Heroes for Hire podcast. Twitter is @HeroesForHirePod. The 4 is the number 4. Or you can email us heroesforhire_@outlook.com. But the best way to help out the show is to tell one human being that we exist.
Just a one shot.
And I think that's about it, Connor.
I think so. So I've been Connor Long.
I've been Shaun Meehan.
I shall see you all next week.
Bye.
Bye.